A mysterious ghost with a pendulum is haunting a young woman. Don't miss out. The psychics will uncover a deadly love secret. This is Psychic Investigations, a project of true and astonishing stories. Here, people who call themselves clairvoyants investigate intricate criminal cases and incredible paranormal phenomena. Nobody has seen this beautiful woman smiling in a long time. 35-year-old Marta Konovalova from Ukraine is terrified, claiming that the ghost of her late husband, whom she, getting too emotional, cursed once during a quarrel, is out to kill her. The man suddenly died soon after the scandal.
It's all my fault.
Marta and Victor loved each other deeply. They raised 2 children and shared a close bond, always interested in each other's work.
He owned a business, and I always helped him with everything.
However, their relationship soured due to her husband's unfounded jealousy.
His jealousy became unbearable. The distrust and aggression started.
Marta was 15 years younger than Victor, and so he feared losing her. But at some point, her husband's jealousy reached absurd levels.
I wasn't allowed to wear heels or dresses. Anytime I did it, it would trigger jealousy and arguments.
But their final conflict came as a true shock for Marta.
He slapped me. I didn't know where to go or what to do.
Marta had had enough. She ran out of the apartment, broke down in tears outside, and in despair, wished her husband dead.
I said, "Lord, please take him because I can't stand it anymore."
The next day, the devastated woman took her children and went to live with her mother. And after a while, Victor unexpectedly passed away. The man, just in his early 40s, suddenly suffered a stroke.
An ambulance took him. Then his parents called to say he was gone. I was deeply shocked.
Marta was inconsolable, for despite the hurt, she still loved her husband. Besides, his death was quite peculiar, as Victor had never complained about his health.
Nothing ever bothered him. I've got no clue why it happened.
Marta barely remembers how she got through her husband's funeral, but the night afterward, the man's spirit appeared to Marta in a dream and told her to join him in the afterlife.
He was calling me, but I said, no, it's too soon for me to go there.
What's even worse, the following morning, Marta nearly died on her way to work.
I was at the pedestrian crossing, and I saw the green light in front of me, but a woman behind me grabbed me and said, "Don't you see it's the red light?" I said, "No."
The stranger at the crossing actually saved her life, for at that very moment, a huge truck sped down the road.
Had I taken just one step, I wouldn't be here now. I felt like in a daze. It was something like a trance.
Marta's daughter, 16-year-old Irina, can't hold back tears at the thought of almost losing her mother that day.
Nobody could ever replace me, Mom.
And soon, Marta's late husband appeared in her dream again. He glared at her, making the same gesture over and over.
He kept pointing at his arm.
Imagine the terror Marta felt when, the next day, her daughter accidentally fell in the yard and broke her arm.
She injured it so badly that her wrist was completely dislocated.
It was shocking.
But just as her daughter's arm healed, Victor appeared in another dream, pointing at Marta's head, and a few days later, her 13-year-old son, Sasha, suffered a terrible head injury.
He went to the supermarket to buy something, and there he slipped on the wet tiles and hit his head on the back of his skull.
The boy barely made it home.
He couldn't stand up, and half of his body went numb. I immediately called an ambulance. He spent 2 days in the intensive care. They said he had a brain hemorrhage from the impact, and it could have been fatal.
Marta is certain the dreams and her children's accidents weren't coincidences. She believes Victor is trying to avenge on her from the afterlife.
My children are everything to me.
But if, at the beginning, Marta's late husband only appeared in her dreams, now she claims he has been manifesting physically lately.
I walked into the room and saw a black silhouette in the corner. It scared me to death.
Soon, Marta's children also began seeing the ghost.
A black silhouette, about 1.8 meters tall. I didn't see his face. It was terrifying.
Marta doesn't see his face either, but her late husband was the same height, so she's convinced it's him.
I saw him in a suit and white shirt, just like he was buried. I got goosebumps.
Marta is terrified for herself and her children and doesn't know where to turn for help. The psychics are her only hope. Olena Kurilova and Jana Shulakova responded to Marta's request and agreed to help.
I had a dream. I saw a dead man repeating, "I'll take them all."
So it's her late husband, Victor, and it seems he wants to take the children too.
I'm not sure about it.
Then who is that? A clock fell off the wall by itself. When I looked at it, its hands were moving backward. That seemed utterly strange.
It's a sign. I see the spirit again. He's in a suit and white shirt, holding something, like a set of keys or medallions on chains.
But who is he? A vision. A dark room, and a woman's hand is drawing a pentagram on a mirror.
Is that Marta?
Who are you? I can't see her clearly. Men pay with their lives for her love.
What?
3 deaths.
But where do we search for the answer?
The psychics and Marta arrange a meeting in the city center.
Hello.
Hello?
I've been waiting for you.
I sense darkness around you. And hands on your neck. They're choking you.
Something has been choking me every night.
I saw a man's hands choking Marta. But who was it? I couldn't see.
You dream of a complete family. A mom, a dad, and kids.
That's true.
Suddenly, I had a strange vision. A coffin with a young woman. People surrounded her. Probably her family. And a man stood there. He looked at the woman in the coffin. He loved her, and he was crying.
Was it Marta in the coffin?
I didn't see her face, I don't know, but her hair was fair. Just like yours, Marta.
Marta, do you currently have a man you love?
Yes.
Marta says she met a man not long ago, but she's even afraid to let him get close to her family, lest he become the next victim.
I worry that he might become the next victim.
Unless you become the next victim.
Yes.
But where is the danger to Marta and her children coming from? Could it really be from her late husband?
Do you have his photo?
On my phone.
I decided to look into the situation through fire. I felt the answer was in Marta's past. Victor. Just a moment. He was very romantic. At first, there were gifts and flowers. He loved you so much.
He was 15 years older. He replaced me a father since I grew up without a father and was my husband, friend, and confidant. He treated me very well.
And he became a true father to your daughter.
It turned out that when Marta met Victor, she already had a little daughter from her previous partner.
Marta and her first man's life soured because he didn't want the baby.
Yes.
Marta dated her daughter's future father since high school and became pregnant when she was 19. However, her boyfriend said he was too young and didn't want a baby.
I told him that no matter how hard it was, I would raise her.
At 20, the young woman found herself alone with a baby in her arms. Marta's mother occasionally worked abroad, and so her grandmother helped her with the baby.
I felt that when Marta met her second husband, he won her over with care, attention, and boundless love. That's what she lacked in her first marriage.
I felt drawn to him.
Victor noticed the young beauty in a cafe where she worked as a bartender. From then on, he visited her every day. Marta says he asked her out for their first date with her daughter, who wasn't event 3 years old then.
He loved my daughter a lot.
A few months later, Victor proposed to her, and soon Marta became pregnant again. Victor already had an adult son from his first marriage, but when he found out they were having a baby together, he was overjoyed.
However, over time, Victor's love was clouded by unfounded jealousy. But could he be haunting the woman from the other world?
Suddenly, I saw a car accident on the road. I see children in the car. Your husband is behind the wheel. And the car, it's like it's possessed. It spins wildly.
Yes, we were driving to the village. The car started spinning, but I managed to hold the children. We were all terrified.
The family survived by a miracle. But why did the clairvoyant sense that accident?
The accident was orchestrated by a supernatural force that was hunting the family even before Victor's death. It wasn't his spirit seeking revenge. He, too, became a victim of that supernatural force. And that force was the man I saw, the one with the pendulums.
Marta barely holds back tears. She says the psychics have lifted a weight off her soul.
I feel a lot better.
Marta's husband didn't cause these tragedies. Instead, he tried to warn her, her daughter, and their son about the impending danger.
But if her late husband only appeared to Marta in her dreams, who was the stranger she and her daughter saw in reality? And why is he haunting the family?
I decided to tune in to the spirit of the man with the pendulums, who, according to what I sensed, was responsible for the threat. And I saw a strange picture, like a series of photographs. I see a couple, a man and a woman holding hands. The woman is crying, but I sense that their relationship is being torn apart by a third person.
To avoid being influenced by the energy of the location where they contacted the spirit of Marta's late husband, the psychics move a bit further away.
The spirit with the pendulums comes to take something or someone. Then I heard a clock ticking. Quiet. Where is the clock?
There's no clock anywhere here.
What?
It was coming from here. We heard a clock chime. Ding ding. But where's the clock? There are no clocks nearby.
At that moment, I saw the ghost of the strange dead man again. I asked him who he was and what he wanted from Marta, but the spirit only showed me a picture. It was like a painting. I saw a bed. A woman lay in it, sick and pale, as if she was dying. I had no idea what it meant. Who was this woman? But Marta seemed to know the answer.
Mom.
Your mom?
Yes,
What happened?
she was sick. She couldn't walk, talk, or understand anything. The doctors said she had brain inflammation.
Meningitis.
Marta says her entire family was terrified when her mother suddenly fell seriously ill not so long ago.
Her eyes were like mirrors when she looked at you. She didn't understand what was going on around her. She even had hallucinations.
The disease was so severe that the woman nearly died. Doctors went to great lengths to save her life.
But now she's all right.
Yes,
It was because of what she did.
yes.
What did your mom do?
Magic. Does your mother practice magic?
She used to. Not anymore.
I saw Marta's mother flipping through magic books, lighting candles, laying out cards. and using other magical attributes.
She bought those books, White and Black Magic. She had tarot cards. She would tell people's fortunes with them.
According to Marta, her mother turned to magic many years ago. Marta remembers her doing strange rituals since she was little.
She would light candles, perform some rituals, and even go to the cemetery at night. It was strange and wild for me.
And you tried to take her away from there. You realized it was
dangerous.
yes, that she would be punished for it.
I feared the entire family would be punished for that.
It took Marta and her grandmother a long time to convince her mother to stop practicing magic, as they both knew it was a dangerous and frightening thing, and the consequences could be unexpected and terrible. The grandmother even burned several magic books her daughter used.
The cover had the word magic on it. I didn't like it at all. I didn't let her do that.
We told her she shouldn't do those things because there were different pentagrams at that book and those tarot cards. No matter what Grandma did, Mom would always buy a new deck.
The woman never cared what her family said, claiming she was born for magic.
She always said she loved doing those magical things. We always told her, "Don't do this because you don't know where you're sticking your nose and what could happen." "What do you know?" "I know what I'm doing," she would answer.
So perhaps your mother did something with magic. I think I saw her in a vision before the investigation.
The woman didn't turn to magic for no reason.
What's your mother's name?
Maria.
She dedicated her life to finding the man she loved through magic. I'm sorry, but here. She didn't pay as much attention to you as you pay to your children now.
Yes, I lacked love.
Like an orphan.
First, Mom would often go abroad, trading something. She was always absent.
Marta only saw her father once at the age of 20, and her mother rarely appeared in her life, as she was always working abroad or living with yet another man in another city. She left her daughter with her mother and sister, who was also raising her son alone. The girl always felt like a burden to her aunt.
She always said, "I'm obliged to put up with you, so you'll do what I tell you." I didn't have a childhood. I didn't have the family I've always dreamed of.
Marta's aunt was outraged at her carefree sister for leaving her daughter with her. And she took it out on her niece.
She treated me as an outcast in the family.
What did your mom say?
I told her, "Mom, I can't live there anymore," but she told me to wait and be patient until everything was okay.
There was a feeling that the mother simply didn't need her daughter, as the woman was always solving only her own problems.
Yes, this is true.
Since she practiced spiritism, is it possible that she summoned the force that is now killing the family?
The man with the pendulums, probably she did it. She once made pendulums, putting rings on threads.
Marta recalls her mother make the magical attribute using her own rings.
Maybe she summoned the entity with that pendulum. And now that entity won't let our family live in peace.
Where is your mother now?
She's home.
Could we talk to her?
Absolutely.
I'd like to talk to that woman.
At first, Marta's mother, Maria, was reluctant to talk to the psychics, but she eventually agreed. The clairvoyants meet her near the building where she lives.
A spirit is threatening your family. Marta told us you used to practice magic.
Used to? I still practice it.
You still practice it?
But Marta didn't like that.
She simply didn't understand me. She didn't understand me as a mother because I always defended her. She found herself a man.
Do you mean Victor?
Yes. He did things that were just awful. And I sense it. It was me who sent him to the cemetery.
To the other world.
The woman's confession stunned us. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. What we learned next was simply shocking.
in the next episode.
What did you use to draw the pentagrams?
My own blood.
Oh my dear God.
You can't mess with me.
Back then, we didn't know the S-woman had already claimed 3 victims.
Don't miss the continuation of the story. If you're impressed, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Many more stunning investigations by the psychics are coming up. An awful car crash took the lives of a young sports star and her father. The victim's family don't believe it was an accident. The deceased beauty's ghost will unmask the killer. In this episode, the psychics will deal with the circumstances surrounding the death of a young Ukrainian athlete, Victoria, a Ukrainian, European, and world champion in acrobatic rock and roll and a master of sports. This video was filmed in September 2014. A month later, Victoria was gone. She had just returned from a competition. The following day was to be Victoria's long-awaited day off, and she and her dad were going by car to visit her grandma in the village. But at the edge of the city, a terrible wreck occurred.
A Ukrainian champion in acrobatic rock and roll, and her father died in a car crash.
Victoria was Yulia's only daughter and sense of her entire life. Her awards, drawings, and poems are the only things that her mom has left.
Dear Mom, please stay young, kind, cheerful, happy, and kind to me.
When the tragedy occurred, Yulia was at work. After she received a call from the police, she immediately dashed to the site of the crash.
Somewhere here, at the roadside, she was covered. Her heart wasn't beating anymore, unfortunately.
Victoria's father, Anatoly, died from the injuries he received.
The armored vehicle was here, and the car was around here. It virtually had no hood. It was crushed almost completely.
At about 2:30, the collision between the Opel Kadett and the armored personnel carrier, which was standing idle ahead of it in the same lane of the highway, happened.
The personnel carrier broke down on its way from the conflict zone in the Donetsk region. The crew were waiting for the assistance. The collision was so powerful that the almost 14-ton armored machine even jolted.
The engine crashed into the car's interior. The soldiers from the carrier, they ran up to them immediately and pulled Anatoly out of the car, but Victoria was literally crushed. The rescuers had to cut the car to get her out.
A strange wreck it was. The military vehicle was standing on the roadside and did not pose an obstruction to the car. It had warning signs in front and behind it. The highway is straight, without any sharp turns or narrowings. It's highly unlikely that Anatoly didn't see it.
I drove the same day and the view was clear.
He was an experienced driver. He drove carefully and never speeded.
Anatoly drove a car for 23 years. No alcohol or drugs were found in his blood. The family and friends are sure that if something unexpected had happened on the road, Anatoly would have definitely dealt with it.
If he'd seen an obstacle on the road, he would have tried to avoid it to save his daughter.
But all the facts indicate that it wasn't the case.
No brake trace, nothing.
This is unusual. In an emergency, a driver instinctively attempts to avoid contact with the obstacle or source of danger. And doing it, they brake hard or maneuver.
I don't understand why he didn't brake.
Currently, there is no explanation for why he drove straight into the obstacle.
They still can't understand how it happened.
A Molfar Olena Stetsenko and a British spiritual medium Anna Galliers are going to find out the circumstances under which the world champion in acrobatic rock and roll and her father died.
This accident wasn't supposed to happen. Somebody provoked it.
You know, Anna, when I look at this girl's photo, I see another girl and she raises her hand with a knife over Victoria's head. And Victoria is smeared with blood.
It's weird, but I don't feel knife wounds on her body. Looking into the eyes of the girl in the photo, I only hear one thing: break the circle, release me. What could she mean?
I've been looking forward to meeting you. Come in, please. I'd really love you to help me.
Your daughter, she should be here with us. It feels like her life was taken by force.
I have a constant feeling she's somewhere near me. I remember. I went to bed one night and then woke up to a tiny knock, and I had a feeling Victoria was somewhere around.
This is true. Her spirit is with us, but it's hard for her because she's stuck between the worlds.
I saw her in my dreams. She said she didn't understand what had happened.
The spirit of the girl cannot leave our world. Usually this happens to those who committed suicide or died abruptly as a result of an accident or murder.
Energetically, the accident was colored in red. It's some kind of aggression. Once, a widow came to see me. She had lost her husband in a car wreck, and her main question was, why didn't he brake? As we found out, somebody had cut his brake. And later it turned out these were his business rivals.
Did the car in which the father and the daughter were have its brakes tampered with? Is it possible that the police officers who checked the car overlooked it?
I know for sure that the car was taken for an examination. They took off its wheels to check the brakes. The technical condition of the car was excellent.
I tried to feel the moment of the tragedy, but I saw darkness. I saw absolutely nothing. I had a feeling somebody or something was blocking the information from me. Or perhaps the driver was unconscious or dead when the accident happened.
He was alive after the crash. The soldiers from the carrier said they immediately got out of the vehicle after the collision, and Victoria, who took the main damage, had no pulse by then. But he was alive. They pulled him out, but he died on the way to the hospital.
After the collision, he turned his face to his daughter, and his eyes saw the bloodied child, and a tear dropped from his eye, and the pain, an awful pain in his heart.
He loved her so much, and she loved him.
These are the last photos of Yulia's daughter, taken just a month before the tragedy.
He loved his daughter madly, just madly. When we were departing for our first international tournament, her father was crying that he was letting her go alone. He was so attached to her.
I have a feeling of a broken circle, like a cracked circle or cracked life.
I get what you're talking about. There was the ring. It's my husband's wedding ring. He used to say it was her lucky charm, and he always gave her the ring because he wanted it to be with her.
I feel it cracked.
Just a couple of days before death.
Yes, the ring cracked.
A wedding ring splitting in two is an evil sign.
Where is that ring now?
I don't know where this ring is or what happened to it.
There is no wedding ring on your finger either. Your connection as a couple is broken.
Unfortunately, we broke up.
It turned out that Victoria's parents divorced a year before the tragedy. The man's unfaithfulness ruined their family life, but for the sake of their daughter, Anatoly and Yulia kept a friendly relationship.
She even felt as if they still had a regular family.
He often drove her to trainings and brought her home afterward.
She always wanted us all to be together, but unfortunately after we broke up, she suffered a lot. He wanted to take her with him.
At some point, they began to argue about who Victoria should live with, and I said, Anatoly, please, don't take the daughter away from her mother.
I don't feel well. I don't understand who or what it is, but it's in the room now. Laughter. It's like laughter from the other world. I feel somebody laughing at Victoria's death. Your child's prospects were bright. Even at her age, she had achieved things that would take others their entire lives to achieve.
Indeed, being only 14, Victoria had already visited many countries of the world and won around 30 prestigious awards. Professionals all over the world knew her. Thanks to her tours, being just a schoolgirl, Victoria earned as much as an adult at a good job.
There was a lot of anger against her. Many parents wished their children to have her success.
Somebody's blaming themselves for Victoria's death. They're in a huge building. White bricks and large pillars at the entrance.
The practice hall.
Did Victoria's father pick her up after trainings?
Yes. He drove there to bring her home in his car, and he took her there.
The man's car was always in front of that building. I'm afraid somebody could get rid of Victoria as a rival.
If the nuts securing the front wheels of a car are loosened, irrespective of the vehicle's current condition, it is possible for even an experienced driver to lose control over it after a certain distance. And in such a case, an accident is imminent.
Hold on, I hear your daughter. She's asking for something, pointing at this toy.
The teddy bear, we always took it with us when we went to tournaments. It was her lucky charm.
She's saying, Mom, bring it to me. I don't know where she wants you to bring it, but take it with you.
The building in which Victoria spent most of her time looks exactly as Anna Galliers described it.
This is her coach, Yevgenia.
Hello.
She trained most often in this hall.
She wishes she could hug you both, embrace you tightly, and say, "My two mommies, I miss you so much, and I really want to be with you."
We all have the feeling that the door will open at any moment, and she will come in to join us.
I see eyes all the time, the eyes whose gaze follows the girl constantly. Did you want to kill Victoria?
I didn't want it.
I see you holding a knife above her.
Diana is 15 years old. She and Victoria were best friends. But what does the psychic's baffling vision mean?
I have a photo. We took it a month before Victoria's death. We were having lunch together and there was ketchup there. So we smeared it on Victoria's forehead and took the knife. When I saw the picture, I was terrified it could have possibly happened because of it. We were best friends and always said we were sisters. We were very close.
Please, calm down. Don't blame yourself.
But I really feel that somebody was happy because she died. And they're still happy. This is so awful.
I don't know.
After we arrived from the cemetery, we checked her page, and there were terrible, disgusting things there.
We're happy you're dead. Now rot in there.
Did you check who posted it?
When you go to the page, there's nothing. It's blank. It has no information about the person. Nothing.
We analyzed the texts from Victoria's social media and tracked their authors. It turned out that there are groups on social media that find pages of people who died and poured dirt on them.
You know, a British newspaper once asked me to work with the photo of John Lennon from the Beatles. His fan killed him on his way home. I think these deaths have something in common. Victoria was also killed by her fan. The murderer is someone who was obsessed with her. I hear shouting. It's Victoria's voice. It's like she's calling someone, asking them to help her. Yulia, you often see your daughter at night.
Yes, I had such a dream. And she said I needed to go to the place where it had happened.
The psychics go to the site of the crash. It's already dark. To prevent accidents while the psychics are working, the police even partially block the road.
I see your daughter. Her father is next to her. I see his last gaze at his daughter and the tear in his eye. It's hot as fire. It's caused by pain. It's so intense. It's like he's experiencing the loss of his child again.
Yes, he'd been married before, and his wife had taken their child and left him. It was also a girl. His wife left with his daughter and forbade him to speak to her.
He felt pain because he'd been parted from his daughter, and he wanted to see her.
He always wanted it.
And so Victoria was his greatest treasure in life. He loved her so much, and the last tear he shed in his life is burning my heart.
I get it. This is Anatoly. Anatoly killed his daughter, the father. The father killed his daughter. This is impossible.
The father. But why? He loved his daughter so much.
I don't understand how it was even possible.
Yulia, he did it on purpose. He accelerated the car. He raced.
Why? Just why? I would never think it could be possible.
He wanted to take her with him.
He wanted to take her from me, but not her life.
He wanted her to always be with him. He wished her to live with him.
Yes, he really wanted to take her, so she would live with him, but she said she wanted to live with me.
As it turned out, in recent months, the man had been talking regularly that he wanted his daughter to live with him. But Victoria kept refusing.
And when they were in the car, he asked her again.
Will you live with me? But Victoria said, Dad, I love you so much, and I know how much you love me, but I'll stay with Mom. And at that moment he saw red, and he hit the accelerator hard, and his only thought was, you're mine. You're only mine. The red energy of aggression. I felt it before the investigation. It was Anatoly's anger towards himself. He lost one daughter, and he couldn't do anything to make his other daughter stay with him. He didn't want to live like this anymore.
Her father loved her madly. It was fanatical love.
Not long before you arrived, I had a dream of her walking around our apartment. She brought me my phone, and in the phone, I heard his voice. I didn't want to speak to him, so I returned her the phone. And Victoria said, Mom, but he wanted to talk. He wanted to tell you something.
He feels guilty. Only after his daughter's death did he realize what he'd done.
The obsession with his daughter clouded his reasoning. Throughout the investigation, I kept seeing the transparent human figure. It was following us all day long. It was the father's spirit. I heard his laughter. It was hysterical laughter because he committed suicide and killed his daughter. He's a sinner, and she's an innocent soul. They're in different worlds now, and they will never see each other again. This is horrendous.
He once visited me in a dream. I don't remember how much time after the crash had passed. He told me he wasn't with Victoria, and he didn't know where she was.
This is the reason your daughter kept haunting you in your dreams, asking to come to the site of the tragedy. She wanted you to see that there's no brake trace. She wanted to draw your attention to it because her father hadn't braked. He did it purposefully.
She wants to go, but something's holding her back. And she's showing me her hands. There's something glittering on them.
This ring, she wore it. I took it.
Was she wearing it at the moment of her death?
Yes, they gave it to me.
This ring keeps her anchored to this world. Her soul can't leave it. You need to take the ring to her grave, or have it sanctified at a church. Thus, she can go on living in the other world. She doesn't want you to be lonely. She wants you to have a child and go on living.
I understand. I'd like to thank you so much for helping me.
And she wants you to leave the toy here. Simply put it down here before we go and say goodbye to your daughter.
This is horrific. The father's fervent love and wish that his daughter would stay with him resulted in a terrible tragedy. If you're also impressed by this story, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Many more impressive investigations are ahead.